Hi there, Evan here at the McChronicle for Sunday, December 29th, 2019, where that future starts today. I'm going to make my quick predictions about the markets and the economy for 2020. But first, let's flash back to 2019. Global economy really slows down. Stock markets in the developed world continue to ignore this and are at or near record highs. What caused the euphoria phase? The Federal Reserve going back into QE infinity because of the overnight repo rate spike late in the third quarter in 2019. Which leads to prediction number one. The Federal Reserve ends this round of QE infinity via the repo injections. They will end this in Q1 of 2020. We're going to have a volatility spike. We're going to have a market correction, which is then going to lead the Fed into more QE. The market's going to take this false signal of everything being fine again to push us to another blow-off top in markets. This will be the last one, by the way. So it's going to happen again. Stock market corrects as the Fed ends this round of QE. Then the Fed goes back into QE. Market's going to falsely believe that everything is fine in the economy again because of this. And we're going to have one last blow-off top. Then when the market finally sees, aka the stock market, which is always the last one to know we're in a recession. Every time, look it up for yourself. When the market finally realizes that we're headed into a global recession, that'll be later in 2020. So again, probably late third quarter, if not the fourth quarter of 2020, the market's going to finally wake up to the fact that we're heading into a global recession. That's when the big one happens. A lot to digest, I know. But to summarize, Q1, the Fed's going to end this round of QE infinity, volatility spikes, stock market corrects. Fed goes back into QE. Market tells themselves, oh, everything is fine again. One last blow off top. Then when the stock market realizes everything isn't fine, that we're headed into a global recession, that's when the big one comes. But again, we're likely not going to see a big correction, in my opinion, until Q4 of next year. Now for bonds. This leads me to prediction number two. Once the Fed ends this round of quantitative easing infinity in Q1 with the repo injections, etc., short-term bond yields globally are going to head higher. Why is that? As the stock market corrects with the ending of this, short-term bond yields are going to reflect where global inflation really is right now, and how do you play it? What I think is going to happen is as the stock market corrects, short-term bond yields are going to work their way higher, and with inflation indicators globally saying we're going to have a slower inflation rate probably towards the second quarter, the bond market's going to get out ahead of this. Slower inflation, slower in growth, into that bond yield spike, you buy bonds. It's a lot to take in, I understand. To summarize, Federal Reserve ends the repo injections, aka QE, aka what they say is not QE, in Q1. Stocks and bonds correct in tandem. Fed comes in with more QE. Bonds really start figuring out we're headed into a global recession, and that all forward-looking inflation indicators, the ones they follow at least, start pointing towards a slower growth, slower inflation world. They'll buy bonds in tandem with stocks as we have the last melt up higher. And then stocks are going to realize towards the end of the year, we're headed into a global recession. That's when the big one happens. And bonds, US dollars, And then other currencies, gold, silver, Bitcoin, are already going to be ahead of this. So that's my predictions for 2020. What do y'all think? Am I right? Am I wrong? Is there something else I'm not looking at? Leave a comment down below. And as always, my name is Evan. This is the McChronicle, where the future starts today.